we shall now go on to our next speaker, Dr. Kanika Bharadwaj, who would be talking on characterization of in vitro grown corneal epithelial cells on polymer scaffold. I would want Dr. Mahipal to comment and Dr. Kasturi to comment on this. I hope you all are connected. Dr. Kanika?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Namrata, if you are connected, you could add your comments too. Yes, you could start your talk.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kanika, and I did my DNB from iCare Eye Hospital, Noida. My thesis is basically a laboratory research in tissue engineering and corneal stem cell research. So, corneal epithelium, we know, has a barrier function maintained by homeostasis as suggested by Thoft and Fron, but there are some diseases where the limbal stem cell is not sufficient, and even keratoplasty and keratoprosthesis cannot help. In such areas, tissue engineering is the future of corneal therapeutics. So we take a cell from the body, we isolate, we expand it outside the body using scaffolds and growth factors and implant it back. This is what tissue engineering is. There can be two types of scaffolds. They can be natural sourced or they can be synthetic. Natural source such as amniotic membrane, they have been used in past, but they have their own issues of infection and processing, whereas synthetic ones are easier to handle and can be made into desired properties. So the objective of my study was to evaluate the cell growth and characterize them, and also to assess suitability of the scaffold. We use these following materials, and it was a study conducted from October 2017 to December 2019, experimental and observational study. It was conducted at my parent institute, iCare Eye Hospital, and also in association and collaboration with National Institute of Immunology, New Delhi. So first we formulated the microparticles, then we formulated scaffold from them, and then we did the study of the scaffolds and particles. And after that, we did in vitro corneal epithelial cell culture, and then we started growing these cells on the scaffolds and studied them. So this was the formulation of microparticles using double emulsion solvent evaporation technique. The organic phase comprised of two different ratios of polymers, PD-LLA, poly-D-L lactic acid, which is commonly used in sutures, and Eutragit, which is a cationic polymer. After the microparticles will form, we could easily fuse them using methanol at room temperature, and we could get desired size and shape scaffolds. We then went on to do physiochemical property studies. We did corneal epithelial cell culture using laboratory grown rabbit corneal stem cell lines like SIRC, and appropriate medium was maintained and cell culture method was performed. Then we seeded the cells. We also tried to do a primary corneal epithelial cell culture from mice. So we took BALB-C mice, which were 4 to 6 weeks age, and in accordance with the ethical guidelines. And we enucleated their globes and took the corneal button, including limbus tissue, and growed them specifically. So this was the complete growth media that we used. Then we did the cell proliferation studies using MTT assay and live dead cell assay. Coming to my results, so the polymer microparticles that we formed, we could see that they were stable spherical, and the heterogeneity in size was increased as the Eutragit concentration was increased. Same was confirmed on scanning electron microscopy also. The size distribution of the particles was in the micro range, and they were uniformly distributed. But with the Eutragit, the size was smaller. Coming to the scaffold, so on scanning electron microscopy of the scaffolds, we could see that they were porous structure, which is good for cell growth. And the porosity index was also measured. Out of the scaffolds that we saw, 70s to 30 combination ratio showed the best porosity, and porosity is necessary for a diffusion of nutrients. Cell surface charge is negative, so it needs a positive surface to adhere. So addition of Eutragit to the PDLLA actually increased the surface charge and gave to better cell adhesion. SIRC cell culture also showed the same, and we could see the growth from day 1 to day 5 increasing, and 70s to 31 showed the best. So we also tried corneal tissue explant, but because of the time constraints, we could not complete. I would conclude that stable particles can be formed in ratio of 90-10 and 70-30, and these can be fused into desirable scaffolds, and these can be good for cell growth. So limitations were time constraints, and in future, I recommend using better species. These were my references, and I would like to thank my mentors, my guide and co-guide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kanika. Dr. Kasturi, Dr. Mahipal.
It's a very nice presentation on basic research. And there has been I have seen also some publications. There recently also there was a publication where they have used the same material as a synthetic material as a scaffold, and they have found very promising result of this synthetic alternative to the donor tissue.
Yes.
And most of the results, all the previous results that they were doing, that they have shown a combination regarding the porosity that you have mentioned, that 50-50 is the best. But in your study, you have shown the porosity of 70:30 is the best. So why do you feel that this higher difference is better porosity as compared to the previous studies?
Ma'am, our previous studies have used different copolymers, and as far as we have did the literature search, the Utrajet polymer has not been used. They have used other like PLGA has been used, cellulose has been used, but with Utrajet they did not use. So I think because of the difference of the cationic polymer, I think in our study, the 70s-30 scaffold showed better results.
Okay. And any way of optimization of the subcultures?
Ma'am, we tried, but the primary corneal epithelial cell culture is a very delicate process and it needs a lot of time. And also our sample, that is, we were ethically approved for mice corneas, so those are very small. So in future, we do suggest that a better source of the stem cells, like a bigger cornea and limbal tissue from rabbit, maybe if it is ethically improved, that would give a better source and that can be optimized. But with the mice cornea, we could not because of the time constraints.
Dr. Mahipal, can you add anything?
Yeah, so Dr. Kanika,
Yes, sir.
good presentation. How
Thank
do
you,
you
sir.
think it adds to what is there in the literature, and how far are you from clinical application of any significance with your study?
Sir, the thing that we add here is that all the other studies and artificial scaffolds, they need a lot of processing in very high-end laboratories. So the polymer that I mentioned, sir, this can, once the microparticles are formed, which only need 2 or 3 steps in a normal lab, any product development lab. Once the particles we have, we can fuse them easily using methanol, even at room temperature. So various centers, if in future this goes into transplantation and other techniques, they can themselves form the scaffolds of their desired shape and size according to the corneas. Also, sir, we are really very far from clinical applications. This was just an initial process that we started in this direction.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much, Dr. Mahipal and Dr. Kasturi.